Once again, as always, we have our regular guest. At this point, I think I should be addressing him as our permanent guest, Barrister Austin Manta, a very senior legal practitioner of over 40 years in active practice. So, Barrister, thank you so very much for joining us once again today.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure to be here.
All right. Before we go, there is this Falana and the VDM issue that we discussed earlier with on this show. I think that was on our last show. Honestly, I have a serious backlash from our audience. Very, very. If you go through the comment section, I received serious bashing from every 99.5% of everyone that made comments on that on this comment section about that video. They all bashed me and in fact insulted me, called me names and some names that are, if you go through the comment section, you just in fact some of them I just smiled and laughed and that's just it. But um, again, for viewers, for those of you who were actually who watched the first the previous video, okay. Anyway, while you even though you insulted me, I appreciate that you even have the time actually to drop notes, make comments on our platform. Thank you so much for being there. Um, However, please let's be civil in our comments or feedback. We need that civility, please. Let's avoid calling people names. Sort of, so there are more decent and more responsible way to express your displeasure than better way than what just the way you called me all manner of things. However, thank you for being there with us. We appreciate that. So, Barrister, I want to give you the chance to actually, please, explain to us. And as I was asking in that video, so obviously based on their comment, so obviously they're interested in the answer to that question. What chance does Femi Falana stand in his case against very dark man? I think that's the simplest way to put it.
The expense of not seeing the exact papers that are in court. Because at the end of the day, if you, as a lawyer, you comment, it's on the general trend of the case that is known to you. But the papers filed in court may contain some other information that you may not have. But based on what is in the public domain, let me recap. The very dark man had released some videos, one of which was to the effect that Probisky said he never stayed in prison for the time he was put there, that he stayed somewhere and was enjoying himself. The other one was that Probisky said Faz, the son of Falana, contacted him and assured him that he first could get his father, that is Falana, to get a presidential pardon for Probisky in exchange for the sum of 10 million. Along the line, there was an issue that out of that 10 million, 5 million had been released. So that was the background. Now, Faz gave an ultimatum to very dark man to sue him. Eventually, Falana himself also gave an ultimatum to the very dark man. And then on the failure to succumb to the ultimatum, he filed a suit in the High Court for defamation of character. Now, the issue is, as between the very dark man and Falana, I do not see how it can be defamatory of Falana. Because defamation is publishing an imputation that lowers the estimation defamation of the person in the eyes of the ordinary person. Now, there are also defenses to defamation, what you call fair comment or privileged comment. These are some of the defenses.
Sorry to cut you short.
Very dark man.
Sorry to cut you short. This defamation you just defined now, based on what you just defined, obviously this is issue of tarnishing Falana's image, isn't it?
It's not as simple as that. The issue is that the very dark man did not publish an invitation in respect of Falana. Remember what the background I gave. The issue was that what the very dark man published was that Robisky said Falana's son, had asked him to pay 10 million, that he will get his father, Falana, to get a presidential pardon for Robisky. So you can see the chain of the flow of the issue. So there's no direct publication by the very dark man against Falana. So I do not see how that can be defamatory of Falana, as between Falana and very dark man. Even assuming it were, the very dark man is a journalist, and he can fairly put the defense that this is fair comment on a serious issue, on a national issue. It's fair comment. If you make a fair comment as a journalist or a newspaper or a publication on issues of national importance, it can constitute a defense to defamation. It would have been better if it was Faz who sued very dark man for defamation. That one is understandable. But Falana is too remote. The allegation on Falana's side is too remote. It's not direct. So for me, I do not see how he has a strong case or how he can succeed in the claim for defamation against the very dark man in the circumstances of this case. Now, the other issue is that saying that somebody will get a presidential pardon, a lawyer for that matter, in the first place, that's the job of a lawyer. If you say I'm going to defend somebody or carry out my professional services in respect of somebody, that per se cannot be defamatory. How is it defamatory? How does it lower your reputation in the eyes of ordinary people? If you are going to carry out your job as a professional lawyer, you are going to do what you are supposed to do, notwithstanding the fact that the person did not brief you. Still, it is within the contemplation of your professional services. If somebody says, I was going to defend a particular person, whether the person is a criminal, a murderer, or a thief, it does not matter. That's my job. So, alleging that I will defend that person, per se, cannot be defamatory.
All right.
So, it cannot lower my reputation in the eyes of people, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. That's the job I have trained for.
So, as a lawyer, can you, if you were, like I asked you in the previous show, where, as a lawyer, can you, if you were to be VDM's lawyer, what, and this case comes to you, what will you tell your clients? Is it, I understand you lawyers, no matter how perfect the case may be, still always use that word, 50-50. But please, just put away, partly for this moment, just put away that toga of lawyer for this, while you answer me as a human being. Can you categorically tell your client, assuming VDM is your client, that this case is a 50-50 case, or Mr. Man, just go to sleep. This man does not have a case.
I would assure him that he has a credible defense to the claim against him, because I do not see any defamation against Falana in the circumstances.
Okay, now that brings me to the point that I was trying to make. That was actually the essence of the video in the first place. Because I wasn't ready to really focus on the VDM involvement. My focus was, and is still, that is exactly what I intend doing right now, is on the image, the so-called image that Falana is trying to protect. This case, in my own opinion, this case actually rubbishes that image. Because I just feel that someone, a man of his pedigree, ought not to gamble with his reputation. And if you are gambling with your reputation, don't do it with someone that is far, far, far beneath you. Gambling with your reputation, you should be doing it, gambling it with serious cases like the presidential issue, or something that is much, much up there, probably really public case, but not with a celebrity that is beyond, far beneath you, a sort of. So I do not see why, if the case is not that much on his side, why should someone of his reputation, Femi Falana's reputation, decide to actually play around with small boys? Small boys, not from my own end, but from his own end, from his own angle. Barrister, what do you think may be responsible for that? What can you tell us? What may have prompted him? Okay, the previous time you said probably anger or emotions or whatever, and I told you, you get at this level in his life. Why couldn't he control his emotions?
Well, you have to remember that we have a phrase that let sleeping dogs lie. There are some instances that it's better to allow things to lie, like sleeping dogs to lie. But at the same time, if you interject yourself in an argument or in a discourse to a certain level, it becomes difficult for you to let the sleeping dogs lie. In the nature of things, the way the discussion unraveled in the Nigerian media space, and Falana and his son, they entered into that discourse to an extent that it became difficult for him to let the matter lie. He was contributing, he was talking, discussing, joining in the discussion in the space that was going on. So he went so far that it became very difficult for him to allow things to lie down. And again, I will repeat that sometimes people act out of anger and the rest, and emotion and outburst. Eventually, sometimes they allow the matter to, on better reflection, they allow the matter to lie down. I don't know how far the case has gone. Remember, when the case came up, Falana did not show up.
Yes.
At the last time that he came up, he didn't show up.
Correct.
Maybe it is signaling that he has sat back and reflected on it and does not want to proceed with the case. Just like you noted, he did not need to carry a matter like this to court. He is somebody that is well regarded in the legal profession. He has cast himself as a human rights advocate. He has cast himself as one of the prominent lawyers. You don't go and pick a quarrel with somebody that's a quarrel that in the public opinion you can never win. Even if you win in the court, a lot of Nigerians will say, oh, it's because of your status that you have manipulated the court or the judiciary. So in a situation like that, you just lie lie down and allow things to. But by continually keeping the matter in the public domain, he is not doing well to his reputation. People who have not heard about the issue are hearing about it. People who did not take it seriously are now taking it seriously. As the matter has gone to court, they want to know, they want to hear. So if he had remained silent and quiet, the whole matter would have died down by now.
Yeah, and the thing is that to make the whole thing worse, matters worse. I think I watched one of these when he was when VDM was. I think I watched a clip, a video he posted online when he was about attending the court session, and where he said he actually before this issue got to court or whatever, that he tried his best and he tried everything possible to dissuade them from actually taking this matter to this level, whatever, but including going to Dobale, as Yoruba would call it. Dobale, go bow prostrate to the man to plead for that, for such not to get to escalate to this level. And it didn't work, but since they decided to still go ahead with it, they're adamant about it and they decided to go. So let it be. So I don't even see the reason why this man, even especially when the guy, according to what he said, the video he posted, he humbled himself, went to plead, actually. And he could have just considered this the very dark man to be, I don't know if he's old enough or the dark man is young enough to be his son, a sort of, or the man is old enough to father him. I think Femi Falana should be in his 60s. You and Femi Falana should be age mates, right?
We are in the same decade, but he's older than me. We are in the same decade.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So that is just it anyway. All right, viewers. I hope for those of you, I hope the barrister have answered your question and answered it the way you want to expect. Not really the way you expected it, or probably at least you've gotten what you wanted, information you wanted from Barrister Manta. All right, Barrister. Thank you so much.